is exactly what tonight's session is going to be about, and that is generally what the series is going to be about. Elevate your mind, becoming limitless. And like I said, that when we're talking about elevate your mind, we are not just talking about wishful thinking. We are not talking about wishful thinking. We are talking about creative thinking, thought provoking self talk, thought provoking self talk. You must have conversation with yourself. You must audit yourself so that you know where you are falling, where you are failing, and what is next to do. And we are ready to provide you with the tools required. We are ready to provide you with what you need to do. All you need to do is to accept yourself first, accept your reality, accept where you are, and you know what to do. I'm not the speaker for tonight. We have in our midst the guest speaker already, Mr. Olusheyi Akonbi. Fam, you are welcome. You are welcome. How are you doing? It's good to have you on the conversation this
Yeah,
evening.
yes. Greetings to you, everyone, home and abroad. I'm glad to be part of this event this evening. I'm really excited to share with the limited time we have one or two things that I think is important that we take into consideration as we close the year. And uh, you know, the idea of January to December is from the is a creation of man. Let me put it that way. Is a creation of man. We learned about the Gregorian calendar. We learned about the Romanian calendar. There is the Arabic calendar. You understand? So, but in the spectrum of destiny, there is no January. There is no December. you know, in the spectrum of what God is doing in our lives. There is no January, there's no December. So um if you don't take any step now, you are still not going to have a good 2025. If you don't do some very important things now, you are still not going to have a very great year. So um I I'm glad to be here and I appreciate the opportunity to share some of the things that I have also found very important in my journey, and some of the things that have helped me, that has given me some very minor and major breakthroughs, with the little that I have been able to experience so far. So, guys, I'm glad to be here and I'm glad to be doing this with you. And I would implore us to pay attention. Pay attention. Every time I come on this event, I keep saying this, that most of what you hear, most of what is being shared here, they are universal. They are principles. They are informations that in the next 10, 5, 10, 15 years, some of you, if you don't take the actions now, you might need to be paying heavily for it. So um this is free now, so, and I understand that whatever is free, people don't pay attention to it because it comes freely. When people pay, they pay attention. So let us take advantage of some of the things we'll be learning now. So they are also our own experiences. We have made mistakes in some areas, and we are very much open to share, why and where we make those mistakes so that you don't experience it. So, good evening, everyone, once again, and thank you for having me, Minecraft Africa, and our very indefatigable convener. It's always a pleasure, having this conversation, on your platform. Thank you so much.
Wow, amazing. That's an amazing intro. I was like, let me give you the spotlight already. So you just take it from there because I myself am buying for a prosperous 2025. And what brought this particular series is that I just discovered, I've been hearing it, but it just occurred to me that 2025 is like January 2025 is like any other day. You just slept on the 31st of December and you woke up the following day and they told you you are in another year. That is how fleeting it can be. It's just like 24 hours swap of time. This 2025 we are all talking about is just like 24 hours swap of time. And they tell you that this 24 hours, so you are in another you are in another count. The Gregorian calendar has started counting another year for you. But you realize that if you don't take your bath on that day, nothing is going to happen. If you choose not to change your clothes, nothing is going to happen. So the society has been schooled into believing that something special, there is something, mysterious about it. Nothing is mysterious.
at all.
Why do we have year? Like I said, that the unit of life is time. So the lifetime of a man is calculated in years. That is why there must be a system that helps us to number our days. So that is just the system. That is just the benefit of the calendar. Because if the way we have been planning our years, Elon Musk should not be the one reigning. Some of us, in the churches, the way we plan our year, the way we write New Year resolution, all of those gymnastic of the crossover night. No, 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 no. Some of us, we should be sitting, side by side with United States president. But there are do's and there are don'ts that make for a greater life, and that is why we are here. And I'm glad that my honorable is there. He has vast experience in human capital development, and then he's a man of vast experience. So we are glad to have him on the conversation this evening. I'm going to be hiding because I also need to learn. I'll be leaving Oluseyi Akanbi with you. He'll be taking us in the next couple of minutes or an hour so that we can know that 2025 is just like any other day. However, you can rewrite the narrative. You can rewrite the code of your life. You can rewrite the code of your life. This is an opportunity for you. If you have your friend, you have your neighbor, please click the share button and share to them. Let them be here. Mr. Sheyi, over to you. I'm giving you the spotlight. Over to you, sir.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much. I don't even know where to begin. But I'm going to be, sharing a few things about how to break limits. And you know, when I saw this, I started thinking. I looked back. I was reflecting. And this is what I do at the end of the year. I take stock of my life, and I discovered that some of the things that I thought that I was never going to be able to do, during the year, I eventually did them, and I started asking myself questions: how, why, what happened? And guys, interestingly, I discovered that it has something to do with my thinking. It was the fact that I, perhaps interestingly and fortunately, because of some of the books I've read and some of the kind of mentorship I've been under, I know how to think. And that is the crux of everything that has to do with the mindset, is how to think. People don't know how to think. Henry Ford, the very popular billionaire and global businessman, said that if you think you can, if you think you can't, you are right. It is because the thing is that when you lose it at the thinking level, you have lost it all. So what Henry Ford is saying that if you think you can, I mean, you are right because there's nobody that can help you. You know, there is no miracle that can help you. There is no, in fact, Jesus Christ could not change how people think. Do you know, as powerful as he was, he has to do with your will. He has to do with, some of the it has to do with a power that God has given you. God has given everybody the resources to change their thinking. So, but the decision to do so, you can't be forced. It's not something that you have to be coerced. So, I figured that it has to do with how to think, and you can call it perspective, you can call it a fresh view, a way of seeing things, and that is the crux. And it didn't happen by chance. It is training. It is things that um that had happened over time, over the years. The ability to think, the practice of positive thinking, the practice of mindfulness, what you call mindfulness, ability to think over a particular thing, just a single thing for months, for weeks, you know, and there are quite a lot of them, So, but let's just look at the mind. Let's understand the mind, and that's the first thing I'll be, looking briefly. I'll be talking about five things, and the first one is to help you understand the mind and to let you know that the greatest tool God has given every person on the earth is the mind, and everything that we can become, that we will ever aspire to be in life, is coming from the mind. The mind is like the blank check, it's like the garden where everything that is sown. So, mind how you sow, mind what you sow. What you sow are the thoughts, in the mind, and whatever it is that you sow is what you get. Whatever it is that you sow is exactly what you get. So, and there is the conscious mind and there is the subconscious mind. So, the process of sowing is conscious. You understand? Like in farming, you are conscious of planting, the design, the seasons, how to plant, the digging, but you are unconscious. I would like to borrow that concept of the germination. You are unconscious of the germination. You are unconscious of the growth. Do you understand? You can see the growth, but you cannot say in 1 week the crop would have reached this height because somehow these are not these are variables that are dependent on the conscious effort. For example, if you plant and you fertilize the land, then you can expect that the harvest will be bountiful. So if you plant without fertilizer, then you can, somehow imagine, or maybe like we like to do in Africa, we like to do the little things, we like to do mediocre things and use our faith and say, oh, we are believing God. We are hoping that things will turn out well, you know, when we have put in a little or what we call a mediocre work. And on this platform, we've learned the advantages of what we call deep work, deep work, deep work. And I remember sharing one very important speech I have had that has transformed my life, which is, you can go on YouTube, is titled How to Live an Asymmetrical Life. In other words, if you want to be great in life, do the very hard things, because over 97% of people in the planet, they want to do the very easy things. So what stands you out should be, what you do, what you're able to do, what you're able to. And people, when people leave the easy things, the hard things, then it gives you an advantage. You focus on the hard things because the hard things, they give you a great reward, great recompense. So, as we say, um, the mind is the most powerful tool. Very important. You must be able to harness the power of the mind. And one thing you must understand about the mind is that there are two types of mind, or what we call mindset. So I talked about mindset. Mindset is mind and set. So where is your mind positioned? So there is a spectrum. Spectrum is like a line at the right or at the left end, depending on where you want to begin. There is a positive charge, there is a negative charge. So where is your mind set? Some for some people, their mind is in the middle. In some cases, they are positively minded. In some cases, they are negatively minded. While some people, they are very, very positively minded. They have a can-do ability every time they see things. Every when you guys are talking about problems, they are seeing solutions, they are seeing opportunities, they are seeing problems they can solve, because their mind is at the spectrum of positivity. So we need to understand the mind and the power of the mind for us to change our life, for us to round up the year. Because now, okay, if we say, oh, we are following the Gregorian calendar, to at least fractionalize our life, because the unit of life is time. So let's say we want to fractionalize our life, then it means that the end of an era is the beginning of another era. So whatever it is that you do with the remaining 3 weeks in this month, in this year, can make 2025 a very definitive year for you. So what I would say is like, you need to be very important about the mind, your mind, the importance of your mind, what you feed your mind, because we sow consciously and subconsciously, the whatever it is that we sow is germinated. So we also need to identify. Um, just give me a second. This is saying my camera. Uh, Okay, good, 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 good. So that's the thing. So um, another thing we need to understand about the mind is that we need to identify limiting beliefs. So that is one of the things that we do not know. Limiting beliefs. So what is limiting beliefs? I talked about limiting beliefs. I talked about a self-sabotaging action. Do you understand? Limiting beliefs are things like people, you know, okay, so um um I'm trying to look for an example. I've met people who do not have ambition. When I say they do not have ambition, they have an idea of how far they can go, and they have they are mentally accommodating being small. I met someone, when I was in Lagos, I think around 2021 or so, and I was asking, what's the plan like for you? I know you are starting small. And this lady told me that she wants to have a very small shop, and be a tailor, and all of those things. And I said, okay, for how many years? Because the, you can start small, but you should not remain small. Those are some of the product of mind. These are some of the things that will come out from a very healthy mind. Even if you start small, does not mean that you should remain small. But I was saying, she was looking at me like she was very clueless. Like, okay, so is there something like, oh, how long? She said, well, that, then she will get married and, start raising kids. And I said, okay, so after that, what next? Because something has to be going on in your life, so, um, and she said, well, that's all basically. Maybe she will not have another shop. Maybe when she now trains a lot of people, she will not have another shop. I said, okay. I said, have you thought about, having a brand of your own? Have you thought about, you know, going to school, getting education? Maybe you do the tailoring for some time, sponsor yourself for an education, even if it is a diploma or whatsoever. Have something formal around your life, then, um as you are doing that, you can collaborate with people who have the financial power. Go to places like Bangladesh, Vietnam, where they have cheap clothing, textile, buy textiles, come, so have a fashion brand, or you have a very very big store, think of growth. Even if this is what you want to do it like someone who wants to be a known brand, who wants to be, who wants to create a change or create a or give directions. There are who we call market leaders. And she with the look she gave me, it was like, no, it's not going to be possible. She was telling me how disadvantaged she was, and I was giving examples of people who had nothing. In fact, this we have some very few Nigerians where when they tell you about their story, how they began, they began extremely humble. I know a lot of them, who began extremely humble. And when you look at their story, it looked like, oh, grace. But in the real sense of it, it is about their mind. It is about their mind. It is about the ability to, believe that some things can happen in your life. I'm not talking about miracles now. I'm talking about the practicality, the fact that you believe that there's something called cause and effect, the great law, there is consequences and actions in. So if you keep at something consistently, definitely there will be a result. When the result will come, how it will come, we do not know. We do not have answers to all life's questions, but we know that as a principle, that when we keep at something, eventually, if it is the right thing, then we should expect a positive result. So that is an example of limiting belief or a self-sabotaging belief. You want to build an hotel. You build an hotel, there is no parking space. Some I see some things in Lagos and I'm like, are people not, planning to become great? Are they not planning to be prosperous? How do you build a business in a middle class, a rich environment, and they don't have somewhere to park? The way some people do business and they say, oh, their business is not flourishing, because when Lagosians can't find somewhere to park, they won't buy from you. So you see that some of this mindset, there is this survival mindset. People are always in survival mode. They are never thinking of how to flourish. Everything is about, let me survive, let my head shall be on top of the waves. you know let me survive, let me. So there are what we call limiting beliefs. There are things that we have believed, you know, some dogma, some line of thoughts, a body of belief system, a body of thoughts, you know, that is holding us, that is dragging us behind, that is slowing us down, So, and we need to understand the impact of these limiting beliefs on our overall success. And I've shared an example. You waste your time, it does not allow you to dream. Where others are saying it is possible, you always seeing the problem. Your mind, because on the spectrum of negativity and positivity, your mind is set at negative or very near negative, if not completely negative. Others are talking about the possibility. You are talking about the problems. Your brain is quick at producing reasons why it will not work. Then it shows that you may be on that spectrum where you need to reflect and identify, why do you think the way you think? These are some of the important questions we need to ask. We should not live an unexamined life. They say an unexamined life is not worth living. You should ask yourself, why do you think the way you think? Why do you? Because if you are able to hack that, then you will act differently. If you're able to hack like HACK, if you're able to, get a go at, or tweak how you think, then you'll be able to, change your outcome. You understand? So that's one very important thing about thinking, about thoughts, about the cycle of thoughts. And the important thing is that there is a behavior of the brain where, just like substance abuse, when you take drugs, your brain begins to adapt. It adapt. There is what we call tolerance. It's called in scientific language, it's called tolerance. There is addiction, there is tolerance, you know and then there is that cycle where your brain, the chemicals change. And in fact, if you have been in negative talker, a negative thinker for long. The day you start thinking positive, you upset your brain. You upset. There is a change in your life. In fact, sometimes you might sit down and marvel. Are you thinking right? You know, is this the right thing to do? Is this the because for a very long time the brain has been conditioned to be small, to not think of anything positive. So that concept they call it neuroplasty, where is a field of neuroscience where how you think, your brain begins to adopt. Okay, so you are this kind of person, you don't like to take risk. Okay, so anytime there is a high risk adventure, your brain does not accommodate it. So distracting me. So that's one of the things. So we also have what we call a cultivating a growth mindset. So the last time I was here, I talked about a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. And one of the things I would like to share or remind us about a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. For example, I talked about growth mindset, which is uh, a fixed mindset rather, which is the ability, a belief that intelligence are static and unchangeable. When people have fixed mindset, they believe that this thing is good, it can never be better. So, like I said, when people have fixed mindset, it's not bad in itself. It's just that they cannot get past it. It's like with the problems we have in Nigeria. We have a lot of analog thinkers. We have people who are, it used to work in the past, in the 70s. It used to be the fantastic strategy, but they find it very difficult to believe that times have changed and it can no longer work. You understand? So there are individuals with fixed mindset, and what they do is that they avoid challenges, they give up easily, and they feel threatened by the success of others. While growth mindset believes that there is what we call improvement. There is a popular quote that the room that never gets filled is a room for improvement. You understand? So they believe that through dedication and hard work and learning, things can get better. And I shared the Toyota principle, Kaizen. They call it Kaizen, continuous improvement. Toyota does not believe in bomb, a big bang technology, a trial and error technology. No, they believe on, okay, this has worked. What else can we add? They start to grow gradually, 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 gradually. And that is why over the years, they have been able to make product that can withstand the test of time. So that's one of the things that we also need to understand about growth mindset. And those who have growth mindset, because they believe that things can get better, they are mentally prepared. In fact, they are very ambitious. They do something very great now. The next minute they are looking for how to do it. They think like mad people, like madmen. They think like people, you know, who are unsettled. They are never settled with the past success. They are they think continuously. How can we get better? How can we break through? Yeah, how can we, enter this market? How can we create this product? You know, and because they are open to learning and developing, they handle criticism well. They handle criticism, they understand objectivism, and they also find inspiration from other people's success. So that's another thing the second thing we need to understand about mindset and about breaking limitations. The first one is the power of our mind, the role of our mind in our entire life. Our mind is the centrality of our lives. The second thing is that we need to have a growth mindset. We need to have a growth mindset. We need to have a can do or a positive mindset, a positive mental attitude. The power of positive thinking. Oh, what if it does not work? But what if it works? I mean, in probability, they say it's 50-50. So, if it is 50-50, why not take the 50 positive chance? I mean, it makes logical sense too. So, it makes logical sense to stay with the 50, the positive 50, since it's 50-50. So another thing with growth mindset is that you need to overcome fear and doubt. And the only way to overcome fear and doubt is to understand the source of your fear. Why are you afraid? Why are you in doubt? Why are you afraid? Why are you in doubt? Strategies for overcoming these negative emotions. You need to develop strategies for overcoming negative emotions. So the third thing I'll also be sharing is critical thinking, ability to think critically. I told you about when I started this session, I talked about how to think. I think people do not know how to think. When they are in a situation, they don't know the next line of thought. They don't know the thinking pattern. They don't know what to think, how to link, how to move from where they are and how to go forward with thoughts. They don't know how to find answers. So they've not been able to cultivate their mind. They don't know. And let me tell you one very hack about how to think is ability to ask questions. Let me tell you, that's the hack. That's the only way you ask questions. Why is it red? Why is it blue? Why is the sky blue? What makes it blue? Why would they say the ocean is blue? Is water not colorless? So what's making the ocean blue? It doesn't mean that the sand in the ocean is blue. Ability to, when you ask questions, it unlocks your creativity. It unlocks, you become very critical. You understand? So why do they say this is working? Why is it? Are there no other ways of doing this? Must it be this way? Are there people, you understand? You ask yourself there, but there are people who have suffered greater things than you have suffered, and they have stood up. How did they stand up? What did they do at their age, in their mid 30s, in their 40s? What do they do? What about people who lost everything at 50? How did they begin? What did they do? Which step did they take first? So questioning, the art of questioning, asking the right questions is what unlocks critical thinking, the right thinking. So the right thinking is the right questioning, ability to ask questions that stimulate critical thinking. Just ask questions. We don't like to ask questions in Africa. We just look and look and look and believe that one way or the other we'll figure it out. you know and another thing is to challenge assumptions, challenge assumptions and conventional wisdom. Okay, so now we are talking about electric cars, and we are talking about heat. Do you know the energy loss with electric cars, as safe as they are, is heat? And there are concerns around torque or range. That is why you barely find electric trucks. Maybe you don't know, all those very big 22 tire trucks that carry 1,000 kilograms of materials. So there are concerns as to how can we make an electric vehicle that can carry something. So begin to think. So how? Why? What can we do? Can we? Are there other sources of cleaner sources of energy apart from electric? What about the heat that is generated? Can we? That's how people you think. Is by questioning, asking questions that unlocks thinking, asking questions that unlocks thinking. That is one of the things. I remember a story shared by um Pastor Samadeyemi, and he talked about when he went to meet Bishop David Oyedepo, and he was like, okay, their church, maybe I think I can't remember vividly, maybe they were like maybe 3,000 or something. I can't remember. And they needed to grow more. And he said they have capacity to grow more, but it looks like the number is not increasing and all. And and he said, okay, Pastor Sam said, so what he started doing is that he's now calling for, they are now doing prayer and fasting, something like that, to for the church to grow and all. And Bishop David Oyedepo said, the 3,000 in your church, why are they in your church? Is it because of prayer and fasting or because of what you teach? And he said, well, they came because of what I teach. I'm a very transformative leader. I teach about Christian living, practical Christian living, winning in life, winning in career, winning in relationships and all of those things. And he said, so if this is what is bringing the 3,000, then why do you want to go into prayer ministry, prayer, fasting and prayer and all of this? So then stay with what, as simple as that is. That was what one of the things that Reverend Sam said transformed their ministry. And he discovered that maybe he just needed to major on his calling, raising leaders across the globe and also that's one thing. He didn't need prayer. They didn't pray, oh yeah, let's pray. Oh, let's consult from a supernatural, being. It was just a thinking. It was just act of questioning. So if 3,000 are in your church because you preach so well and you teach so excellently well, so why do you want to change your line of ministry? Why don't you just continue with what you are doing? It looks simple to you guys. Do you get? Another thing was, I remember when Bishop also said they were building one of their tabernacle, faith tabernacle, and maybe there was an issue or not. The one of the machine was stuck in the building, and they needed to drag the machine out. And because they had built around the machine, so the only way, the easy way, was to break some of the things that they are the easy way is to break some of the things that they have built, so that the machine can be. I don't know. I hope you can imagine what I'm describing. Imagine you are standing here and you've built a house to cover you. Then you need to go out of the house. The solution is to break at least part of what you have, built, and at the same time you now come out, then rebuild. And Bishop said, no, deflate the tires of the machine. When you deflate the tires, they come. In fact, it was a very funny story, but it was the art of thinking. Some people, it is just thinking, and they are living a winning life. So, ability to think, critical thinking, is one of the things that can help you overcome, limiting beliefs and help you elevate your mind, elevate your life. So, and that is where problem solving comes, creative problem solving. How can we solve problems? How can we solve problems? How can we solve problems? And I think in marketing there is this, I've forgotten the concept. That Friesland Campina, there is a company, Friesland Campina, is around the Wemco, where FC is a multinational company. They have different brands of milk. They have a peak milk, they have crown milk, they have a Nunu milk. I mean, Nunu or Dudu or Dunu, something like that. Can't remember. But I'm very familiar with Peak and Crown. So uh, a single company having three products. So what was the thought behind it? They knew that because they were multinational and Peak is a premium brand, people attributed Peak milk to the rich. So they said, well, no, we still need Nigerian. We had a growing market, a growing middle class in the era of Obasanjo, and they felt like no, they need a share of that market, and they designed three crown. Understand? And when people felt like, oh, okay, maybe the middle class is shrinking, people are becoming a little bit, conservative. Then they created the same company, the same. So that's a creative way. And to the layman, you would think that these three products are competing with each other, but it is from the same company. They are chopping your money from different angles. So then there's also a systematic approach to problem solving. And Yorubas will say, "Tigiba wulugi to kela kogbe." So In other words, when there are so many problems in your life, so many, you are jobless, you don't have where to stay, you don't have what to eat, you don't have what to wear, you don't, at least the first thing is look for what to eat. After looking for what to eat, look for what to wear. After looking for what to wear, look for where to stay. After looking for where to stay, look for a job. It depends on how we come. So there is a systematic approach to problem solving. So all of this, you know, can also enhance your decision making skill. So it's very important to master critical thinking, how to think. Go and study, learn how to. Bá mi tilẹ̀kùn yìí jọ. So learn how to think, learn how to think, learn how to think. So I'm going to recap. The first one is we need to understand the mind, the power of the mind. The second one is we need to be on the spectrum of growth. We need our mind to be set on the spectrum of growth, a can-do ability, a positive thinking. And the third one is we need to learn how to think. We need to learn how to think. We need to learn how to think. And the fourth one is enhancing creativity and innovation. You understand? So when they say innovation, innovation means there is an existing excellence. And what you do is to add a little bit of an extra excellence. There is ordinary and there is extraordinary. The difference between extraordinary and ordinary is that you have added an extra. Even the current extraordinary, if you add extra to it, it becomes ordinary. I hope you get the concept. So that's the thing. Look at your life. What exactly have you been doing? January to December, you've had some level of growth. So what else can you do? Enhancing creativity and innovation. You know, how do you what are the things you would do to stimulate creativity? You understand? How do you want to be creative? What's your creative block? What is your creative moment? Think outside the box. Challenge conventional thinking. Embracing unconventional ideas. So those are creativity and innovation. Just adding little, a little here, a little there to what is already, you know. And there is also what we call the innovation strategy. So there are innovation process. That's an entire teaching on its own. There is the innovation process. So he has to do it, even understand, be aware of what excellence looks like. What is the best that has been done so far? What's the best that has been done so far? He has to do it, being aware of your environment, aware of your strength, aware of your weaknesses, you know, aware of the need. There is a global need. The world will always need something. We've not fully solved all our problems. There is a global need. So we need to be we need to be aware of that. So that's one of the things we need to that's one of the things we need to do. So we need to be aware of that. So um then we also need to implement innovative ideas. But the key thing here is thinking outside the box. Thinking outside the box. Don't follow the crowd. Stay true to your convictions. Stay true to your convictions. Stay true to your convictions. And because of my time, I'll be ending with mastering focus and productivity. So, mastering focus and productivity. Now, productivity is very key. I am very big on productivity. I believe that a day you've not learned anything to improve your life, the quality of your life, you have wasted that day. You know, any day that you have worked for other person but you've not worked for yourself, you have wasted that day. And if you are, wasted today, don't waste tomorrow. They said yesterday is in the tomb, today is here, and tomorrow is in the womb. I've forgotten how it's being said, but what I'm saying is practice focus, practice focus. 2025, you can say that in 2025, there are three things you want to do. Number one, you want to increase your finances. You want to intentionally increase your finances. And how do you want to do that? You are going to limit wasteful spending. You are going to manage what you have. In fact, the economy is already encouraging cutting costs. You are going to effectively cut costs. Anywhere you are not invited, you are going to stay. In fact, the new trend that is sucking people's money that people are not suspecting is events. Your friend is getting married, this is getting married. You are you've done 10 weddings in 2024 and you spend nothing less than 50,000. That's 500,000. So for people who like to socialize, you like to connect, it's very good to connect with people. It's very good to connect with friends, but you need to also keep an eye on your finances. At what cost? You need to be asking yourself at what cost. Be very allergic to wasting money. Be dissatisfied with, and I think some people are not angry at their financial situation. I believe that when you are angry at your financial situation, you also begin to get knowledge. The first step to being financially free is financial education. Having financial education, very important. So practice focus. If it's about finances, if it is about settling down, getting a new job, a better job, then you need to understand. I've taught you how to think. Getting a new job, it means that you need to have a new skill. You need to have a new skill. You need to have a new skill. You need to do what you've not done before. You need to have a new skill. So there is productivity. Manage your time effectively. Have things that you do in the week. Have things that you do in the weekend. Don't give people an impression that you are free. You are available for anything and everything. Live a structured life. Live a life where, in fact, when you live a structured life, people value the time you spend with them. You understand? Restrict access. As a young person, you are not supposed, except if what you are building is out there. Maybe you are a content creator, you are a comedian, you can be out there. But if you know that you are not that kind of person, you understand, live discreetly, live responsibly. Time management is important. Prioritize tasks. Do the most important things when you have the strength to do so. Some of us are highly active in the evening, is at night, some is very early in the morning. Anything they do not do before 1 o'clock in the afternoon is considered undone. You need to understand your strength, what strength, so that you'll be able to manage your time. And I talked about mindfulness, keeping focus every time. No, in January, in February, always keep an eye on your finances. If you are trying to grow your finances, or if you are trying to also, settle down, get a new job, be very much aware of, okay, what are opportunities and at what cost? How can I plan? Do I register for a master's degree, or do I register for a boot camp, just weekend? What other certifications do I need? Do I need to do a 6-month course? Do I need to learn a skill? Do I need to learn how to communicate or learn a new language? So those are some of the plans that you can have, and you keep focus at it. So I will be wrapping up, by recapping some of the things I've said, and the first one is the mind is important. The mind is the strength of your life. There is nothing you can do outside of your mind. And the only way to get the most of your mind is give it the best. Your mind is like a body. Feed it well. Feed it with healthy food. Don't feed with junk. So your mind is important. We sow consciously, and the result comes unconsciously. In fact, sometimes we do not have what do you call, influence over the outcome. It's garbage in, garbage out. So the only way to control the outcome is to control the income, or to control the input, as we call it. So understand limiting belief. Try and understand what exactly is your problem. What exactly, why do you think the way you think? Why are you always negative? Are you, sometimes you could discover that it is trauma, it is fear. Some people come from families where their parents invested in maybe agriculture or education, and the school closed down. There was no, so people, some of them grew up with a fear, a bias for a certain kind of investment, certain kind of success, certain kind of things. You understand? So be able to understand the power of the mind and the role your mind plays, and be understand that some of these things, they also affect your brain physically. So the second thing is cultivate a growth mindset. Always think positive. Fight it. Anytime negative thought, it cannot work. Ask yourself, have a dialogue with God. What if it works? If you say it cannot work, that's 50%. What if it works? Okay, what if there's what we call a calculated risk. So what if I try and manage the risk? You understand? If I don't give my all for it, can I give a good percentage of myself? Can I give it a try? There's no harm in trying. You understand? So, eh, if you are not on the race, you cannot win. You don't have any chances of winning. So that's the thing. You need to cultivate a growth mindset. You need to learn how to think, critical thinking. And I think this is the most important aspect of this conversation. Learn how to think, guys. Learn how to think. Ask questions. Ask questions, ask critical questions. Sit down in one of these weekends and ask yourself, why are you like this? Why is your life going on like this? Why are you failing with relationships? Why are you failing at work? Why are people not getting along with you? Are you truly a bad person? Are you a good person? What are you doing well? What is your core strength? What do you excel at? Do you talk easily? What can you do without people paying you, and you will be fulfilled? You will do, what are the things you do effortlessly? Are you the kind that you like to write? Are you the kind that you like to sing? Are you an enthusiast for entertainment? For what are your interests? What are your hobbies? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What kind of relationships are influencing you? Are they the right kinds? Are they the wrong kinds? See, I can give you 187 questions that you can sit down to ask yourself, because I have them written down. You ask yourself questions. Why is your life going this way at this certain age? People who had similar background as you, who came from a very humble background, a rural area, no education, late education, and are doing better. Why are they doing better? Why are people rich? Why are people poor? We read that book, Think and Grow Rich, and the Robert Kiyosaki said he was wondering, why is there so much disparity? Why are some people poor and some people rich? I mean, when they did naming, they was equal. Everybody was equal. So what exactly are people thinking about? That's the crux of this conversation. Is the critical thinking. Have a dialogue with yourself. Sit down and ask questions. Is it what influence? Is it parental? Is it, are you know suffering from a dysfunction? Do you need to heal? Do you need to recover? Do you need to upskill? Do you need to change your line of practice or discipline? Do you need to do what I call um I've forgotten it. Like me, I'm a pharmacist by training, but gradually I'm now into supply chain, you know, and the marketing, and before you know it, we begin to move so that we can operate in a wide spectrum. We can attract more opportunities. Those were the products of my thoughts. I looked at the GDP of the pharmaceuticals in Nigeria, and I'm seeing things like 15 billion. So it means that no matter how rich I can be, I can never be having a net worth of over 15 billion if I strictly want to be a pharmacist. Then I looked at other spheres. I looked at the marketing. I looked at the IT, and I'm seeing 250 billion. I'm seeing you look at the economy, global economy, you look at how much of money is in that industry. So in other words, if you want to break limitations, then it means that you need to also position yourself where you can have a share of what is going on here and there. So think, sit down and think, guys. I think the problem is that we don't think. We are chasing other people's dream. We are chasing other people's dream. And when you learn how to think, you know how to solve problems. You know how to make important decisions for your life. And the fourth one is creativity and innovation, stimulating creativity, thinking outside the box, having your own way of doing things. I'm not talking about wuru to the answer. I'm talking about a creative way of doing things, the most efficient way of doing things. In fact, in research or in PhD, there are different kinds of research. You sometimes you are not discovering anything new. You are not investigating anything new. Sometimes it could just be your the bane of your research could be how to do what is being done, how to do it faster, how to do what is being done, how to do it better, or a different way of doing things. So that's the thing. So you also need, and the last thing is focus, productivity and focus. Lack of focus. Some people they had vision for 2024. I can bet you over 90% cannot remember. January just happened, February happened, then at some point in June they lost track. They were not even sure of what they are doing in the year again. So it looked like, okay, we are just living. There was no focus, nothing. For some people, they said they were going to grow their business, and look at the numbers or metrics. It doesn't show any sign of growth. So it's lack of focus, and it has to do with how they manage their time. Every weekend they are not for parties. Some weekend you are just supposed to be in your house and look at your and be examining your life, be reflecting. It cannot go on like this. No matter the economy of the country, your head must be high. Some people are still, finding a way to flourish. They are still fighting. So how are they fighting? What is the art of war? What are the new rules of money? The new rules of success? How do you thrive in a crumbling economy? Those are some of the kind of books you should be reading now. You know, how do you keep sane in an insane environment? How do you? There's even a concept called chaos. It means that order in chaos. How do you create an order? How do you create a business in the chaotic environment of Nigeria? How do you go into investment? How do you just, guys, let's just think. Let's just be thinking. Let's practice and think. Um, Bishop Oyedepo said, they asked him one time that what does he do in his hobby? He said, I read and I think. Yeah, because it is obvious. You can see the level of success he has had in the empire he has built. So it's not easy. It was not a common knowledge for ministries to self-sustain themselves by building institutions, and all of those things. We didn't have those in the 50s, you know. So it was a product of thinking. We can't be relying on tithe and offering and income, and we have ten thousands of people on payroll. So how do we pay them? It means that we need to be self-sustaining. Yeah, sustainability. We need to be also be creating value in some other areas, and they have a lot of real. It's not even the schools that they are into a lot of real estate, into manufacturing, into production, into aviation. It's just that most of them do not carry uh, living faith tabernacle, or I don't know. So those are ways of they are offering value to the society, and they are getting paid, and they are able to sustain. They are able to build a lasting legacy. You understand? And you know that ministries like that, 100 years they will continue to stay. So he's a product of thinking. So when he said he reads and he think, I believe that he just reads and think. You know, it's just that many of us don't think. So mindfulness and productivity, and I hope that you are able to you know gain one or two things as we wrap up the year, and technically as we prepare for the next year. Thank you very much for your time and attention. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. That was amazing. That was amazing. Why I wasn't responding, I wanted to project something. because
Okay.
why I like having you on the conversation is that it takes a mind that have been worked on to work on other minds.
Yes.
I've realized that the process is the same. You are talking about mindfulness. People don't know that what we are sharing here, what we are talking about. Okay, this is it. I was talking to some set of people during the week, and I was telling them that we used to be we were told that you focus on your goals. That when you focus on your goals, you will make the goals, you will hit the target. I said that's fine, but thinking has updated that philosophy for me. I realized that that philosophy is not accurate. True thinking, meditation, practicing mindfulness, extreme mindfulness, have faulted that philosophy. Ask me how. I realized that if I set out on a journey to go to Lagos and I am at Ilorin. Let's say I am at Ayenkori in Ilorin. Now, if I take the right, I will be heading towards Niger State. But if I take the left, I'll be heading towards Oyo State. Now, look at me. Oyo State is not Lagos State, but it's the same direction. Now, what people don't
Mm.
understand is that the goal that they want to reach, the destination they have in mind, has some bus stops that precede it. Because of those bus stops, they are not willing to embark on that journey. That's number one. Number two, because there are bus stops, people don't know how to navigate that path. They feel like if this is the way I'm going, if this is the destination, it should just go straight. Now, let me finish what I'm trying to explain. Please, I want everyone here to pay attention. There is an update to that philosophy. Keep the goal in mind. You will see it. You will fulfill it. That is true. But there is an update that I want to. In fact, I shouldn't share this. I share this with my private people that come for private classes, and you understand. But I'm going to give you this bonus, sir. Sheyi, do you know that if I just turn left from Ilorin, I know that I want to be in Lagos. But instead of me taking right and I take left, I will reach Ogbomosho. From Ogbomosho, I will reach Oyo. From Oyo, I will reach Ibadan. From Ibadan, I crossed another state. I will be in Ogun State. If I can continue in that journey, whether I focus on Lagos or I don't focus on Lagos, if I can just keep going on that road, that one express, that road, I will end up in Lagos. Now, where having the goal in mind help is that where there are divergence, like the interchange, I will know that I'm not supposed to take this side or take that side. Then the goal will help me to know that no. This is interchange. This interchange is taking me to another route. I'm not taking it. But people have not figured out the path to the goal they want to achieve. And I was explaining to those people, and I said, if Ronaldo has in mind that I want to be scoring hat-trick every match, hat-trick, it will only be a wishful thinking. Because there is no striker on the pitch that does not want to score. But how many of them train soccer 17 hours a day? Every pastor wants to be like Bishop Oyedepo, they want man to. How many pastors work 16, 17 hours a day? Like he does.
Mm.
The reason is, what is required to be done, if it is done, the outcome will come.
Mm.
If I want to gain firewood, if I engage the process that bring firewood, I will get firewood. Whether I pray for firewood, I don't pray for firewood. Once that process is engaged, the result is what I get. I now realize that most of this wishful thinking we are doing, I have goals. If you don't do what you should do, That goal will not
mm,
materialize. People now kill themselves instead of acting. They are now living under the burden of achieving goals. You will understand with me that if I move from Ilorin, the road is not that good to Oyo State.
mm,
It's not that good to Oyo State. It is terrible to move from Oyo State to Ogun State, especially from Ogbomoso and Ibadan. Very terrible road. But if you move from Ogun State to Lagos State, it's like yours truly, very smooth. Now, now, if you don't bear in mind that in this journey, I should prepare myself for some difficulties, I should prepare myself for some, enjoyment, ups and downs, smile and frown makes the world go round. If you don't have that mentality, that goal will be a mirage. It will not be achievable.
mm,
And that is what we are here to do. That is what we are explaining. A lot of people came, a lot of people, they will come and say a lot of things, and I tell them, guy, please relax. You just have to focus. And like I said earlier, the greatest force in the universe is focus. The greatest force in the universe is focus. Even water, when concentrated, when the pressure of water is concentrated, it can cut iron. That means if you can focus, and what's the definition of focus? That's what I wanted to project. I don't know if I will be able to do that now, but let me just say now. Focus has just 5 letters in it. It's 5 letters word. F says follow. The letter O says one. Letter C say cause. Letter U say until it is successful. That is focus. Follow one course until it is successful. It is
mm,
pathetic that people want to be jack of all trades to be successful.
mm,
The moment I focus on this is what I want to do with my life, I am marveled at the level of invite that comes.
mm,
It wasn't like that before. When I was there, not too many people knows me. When I was starting, not too many people pay attention to me. They don't know me. They won't pay attention because they don't know me. I've not paid my dues. But the
mm,
moment I pay my dues, the moment I said this is what I'm doing and my energy is vested into it, the moment I said this is where I want to do, I want to end it, this is my focus, this is where I want to expend my energy, I was marveled. Imagine
mm,
at this level going to speak before professors,
mm,
people that have, you understand, is because there was a focus. You keep doing one thing, you keep doing one thing, you keep doing one thing. Follow one course until it
mm,
is successful. Follow one
mm,
course until it is successful. If you can exert all your energy on one course, you will be able to expend and deploy all your mind into it. Your mind power will be vested into it. The mind don't like distraction. I have studied the mind and realized that the mind is weak when distracted. The strength of the mind is focus. You will not know what you can do. Look at what Elon Musk has done. He kept working on it, working on it, working on it. Look at what is happening at SpaceX now. Look at the rocket that is reusable. It was not like that before, but the guy kept working on it. If it had thrown it away, that maybe this is not my part, maybe this is not going to work, is a lie. I also told them that even God worked on the creation for 6 days stretch. When
mm,
he got the feedback that all is good, then he rested.
mm,
He was sure that everything he created were good, everything was good, one by one, everything was good. Then he rested.
mm,
You have not labored enough in that thing. I am telling you, there is no such thing as impossibility. Even the Bible says, I did it mathematically. I was teaching my guys and I was telling them that what you call impossibility is this. The Bible says, with God nothing shall be impossible. That means if with God nothing is impossible, that means with God everything is what? Is possible.
Awesome.
What is impossible is nothing. That means everything is possible. But if you
Mm,
have not worked your mind into it, you will keep saying impossibility.
mm,
Because I will not lie to you, there is a rule in nature that Isaac Newton has helped us to uncover. There is a secret, he call it the law of motion. The first law is the law of inertia. An object will continue in the state of rest except acted upon by an external force. If you don't
mm,
change the way you think, you cannot change the way you live. If your mindset does not change, your life set will remain the same. You will
mm,
struggle like never before. Yes, sir, I'm not
mm,
lying to you. Frequently now, I wake up around 3 a.m. I will think till day breaks. It works like magic. The energy will come throughout the day. You have what to do. You are not jobless. You are not jobless. And a lot of people some people will come for, they will come for coaching, this and that, and they will be, and sir, you will be shocked to know that some people like to live and work like a peasant. We have many peasant people in life. They live like a peasant. They live like a peasant just to find something to eat. Everything they want to get in their life is to eat and to venture into the oppression game. My friend has gotten a car. You want to get a car. You are the only competition you have. Ronaldo set a record for himself. He broke the record. Elon Musk now is his own competition. People are not even trying to match up. He's long gone. The distance is there. The margin is too much. And the guy is not resting. Why are you resting? Why are you giving up so cheap? Hey, to be weak. You've come a long way to turn back, and you have never reached out of the way to be weak. Guys, you need your mental power. You have to elevate your mind. Everything he has explained is there. Remember, follow one course until it is successful. If it is from one unit, shall you remember when we are deliberating that we needed some gadgets and all? You understand?
mm.
Do you know that? Okay, let me say this. I don't know. They may be by any chance washing. I don't know. I had one of my classmates then. You know that time since we left school. Shay, you remember since we left school?
Yes, sir.
Each time I met this guy, I'm looking for money to write WAEC. I'm looking for money to write JAMB. I said, you look for what is lost. Money is not lost, it's to be made. Yes, sir.
Mm,
Over 8 years. I remember the last time we talked about 8 years ago. He's still looking for that money, never find. To rewrite
mm,
WAEC, to write JAMB.
mm,
The last time I traveled to our area and I saw him, the guy took another side. I said he just lost the battle to life. And I will be concluding on this. Why am I bringing this example? You are a victim of random distribution when you are born. God did not
mm,
tell you, I'm sending you to Africa. He didn't tell you, I'm sending you to that family. You are a victim of a random distribution. And because that was the 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 medium God used to bring you to this world, the nature also will sell the same thing to you. The
mm.
word of you have what is required to rewrite your narrative. Don't live and die as a victim of random distribution. It is not the government that should determine how you live your life. It is not an occurrence, it is not a situation. So far, it has not taken your life or turned you to an handicap. I am telling you, you have the power to rewrite your narrative. You are already a victim of random distribution by nature. But in life, don't allow that to happen. You have what is required to rewrite the narrative. And this is my appeal to you tonight. Go over what Sheyi has said tonight. Start from the first episode of this series. You must elevate your mind. You must agree with yourself that you are becoming limitless when you put to work most of these things that have been shared. So thank you so much for joining tonight. Some of you stayed through till now. Thank you. We want you to help us reshare, reshare. Let's have much people benefit from this. Thank you so much. Sheyi, thank you so much. I'm not sure if you are still there, you can hear me. Thank you so much for
You,
doing this
you, you
with you
are
tonight.
welcome. You are
Thank
most
you so
welcome.
much.
Yes.
You
And
will, you may, yes. Let me
on a
say this.
final note, yes,
Hold on. Let me
I
say this.
okay.
Let me say this. You may still be coming up in this series, so because I love the
Yes.
way you are pragmatic and you are, you really broke things down. I mean, I give it to you. You really broke it down. That's fantastic. Thank you so much. So you can say what you want to say now.
Yes, so I just want to end by, charging our people to think. I keep saying it, to think. One of the greatest tragedy is that we have a lot of people who do not think, so please, I beg you, I beg you, I beg you, I beg you, think, sit down and think, ask yourself questions. You understand? Don't go to conferences and, uh, you begin to, in fact, there are, in all areas of your life, begin to think. One of the things I used to do those times, I later read it in a book, by one of my mentors. He called it the financial test. You understand? But
Hmm.
there were questions that I have asked myself. You say, are you contented with what you earn? Are you happy with what you earn? What are your financial goals? At what age? At when? What assets do you want to have? When do you want to have? If you lose your job, can you survive? How long can you survive? In fact, I wrote about 47 of those questions down, and I discovered I couldn't get answers to some of them. I became very scared for my life, and the next thing I did was I started looking for other streams of income, so, and for some of those people who have done business with me, I started selling cars. I became a middleman. I connect the buyers to the sellers. Because I discovered that no, my income should, go into other channels. You know, I was very scared, that I was very, afraid that, I might look like a very big boy in all of those things. But if I lost my job, I am almost 6 months going to ground zero. So, but that's the product of thinking. See, we will know if you are thinking. When you meet someone who thinks, you will know. It's not, and when you meet people who do not think, you will know. You can't be the same person we've known you to be for 3 years. No, what's happening? Are you thinking at all? So, and that is one thing God cannot do for you. God cannot think for you. God will not do what He has given you the ability to do. So God can give you ideas. He can bless your thinking. He can, but you still have to do the work of thinking. Do you understand? So guys, please, let's think as we begin to wind down in the year. Let's begin to think. What are the errors? Write about 50 errors that you made. In fact, that is one of the things that will provoke thinking. It might be easy for you to write the first five, but when you get to number six, you discover that you are not as fast as you would have been. You now begin to think, okay, in January, uh in February, that's how to think. Right, think, learn, think, guys, think. I keep saying this thing because I've spoken to, I've interacted with a lot of people by virtue of my job as a marketing person, as someone who, you know, my time then, have traveled about 26 states in Nigeria. I've met different kinds of people, and I've discovered that we don't think. We just have a group of people who do not think, and because they do not think, they do not have plans. And sometimes the few ones that have plans, they have inadequate planning. They said there's improper planning. The plan they have cannot take them, like the the direction the description you made. Some people have plans to get to Lagos, but with the way they have planned, they have intention rather, they have a dream of getting to Lagos, but their plan can only get to Ogun State. In fact, they are planning to crash at Ogun State because they don't think. See, if you can think, every other thing follows suit. If you can learn how to think, you can start by reach out to our convener, our senior brother here, and discuss. Let him send you materials how to think, creative thinking, how to think like a dummy from the scratch. When you are in a situation, then play games. Look at all these criminal games, all this. Be observant, be aware, be you see, just guys, we just need to think. We need to learn this thinking thing. If we can learn this thinking thing, our lives become better. And there is a
Now,
popular saying that if you don't think, you will stink. And so it's very true. It's really very true. So, and you just think. There was a time I figured that as a marketing person, I needed to be able to have conversations with anyone at any time. I started reading. I read about 14 books. I started with How to Talk to Anyone by Dale Carnegie. I read by James Forson. I read Speak Confidently. I read John C. Maxwell, Leadership and Communications. About 14 of those books. Because I felt like, I can't just walk up to you. I want to do business with you, and I don't even know what to say. So, and as I begin to, I see, wow, I love your colors. I began to put it into practice. Oh, you have a great taste for, wristwatch. How did you get this? You start from anything, any conversation, anywhere. Then you are tailoring the conversation to, I'm also into this kind of business. I don't know. Do you have a need? Do you think you might? In fact, the next line of marketing is to create a need. Some people are what we call, they are called satisfied customers. They have everything. So I mean, for someone who has everything, you can sell nothing to them. So the only way is to psychologically create a vacuum, create a need, make them feel like they are still depraved and they need your product. And until they have your product, they will not be complete. That's the future of marketing now. So you understand? So guys, let's think, please. That is where I will end. Let's think. Let's continue to think. Let's sit down, think and reflect. Have personal times where you only think and you read and you study, and and you pray to your God, for directions, so that's where I will end. Thank you and God bless you. See you, next session, next episode. Yes, I'm done, sir.
thank
I
you
think you
so
were
much,
offline.
Sheyi.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh my.
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, good. Thank you so much, Sheyi. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I mean, there is nothing to say again. Let's look forward to the next episode. But remember, you are a product of your thoughts. I'm telling you, you are a product of your thoughts. If you can think, you can change anything. Just think. Think. Just think. Learn to think. Learn to think. And it was through thinking I got this understanding that you must not plan the journey of your life with those who are not intending to go far. A lot of a lot of heartbroken experience in the journey of life because you have initiated a long time journey with short time travelers. If you initiate a long time journey with short time travelers, you are gone, you are done for. I'm saying it again that may you not plan the journey of your life with those who are not intending to go far. It is through thinking you will know. You will know who to plan this with and who you not plan this with. You will know who to share this with, who you not share this with. Please practice mindfulness. If you need help, reach out. There are frequencies you must always tune to. A certain period of time, there are frequencies you must tune to. There are kind of music you must, there are tunes you must hear. There are kind of music. There are frequencies that you need to remain active mentally. Please go and find that. That should be your study. Forget about all of these trending movie and all of them. Some of you don't even know that Netflix now has carried his bag, leaving the country. Even you say you are courage, you are